Welcome back to Claiborne. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. So if you're returning, you're already aware that I do try to do my part for the environment, even my little bitty piece of the planet. And that involves a lot of recycling and using what I already have on hand instead of trying to consume more things. This year, I'm also trying to do organic gardening. Some of those things have to be done above ground. I don't have a tiller and I live on very rocky soil. So I'm going to teach myself about container gardening for potatoes. It was quite the adventure, quite the learning experience. You know, some of these things we handle every day and they look very innocent, but when it comes down to our environment, they're not so nice on the environment. And so it's just good. You almost have to be a chemist today you have to break down all of this stuff because our recycling here in the America is, I don't think it's all that great. In fact, it's very difficult. And for me, it's impossible. I don't even know where I would have to drive or how far away to recycle things. So I need to use whatever I bring here or it ends up in the landfill doing all of its damage there. So hopefully you'll enjoy this video. Doesn't this look like a happy little bunch of fellas? They're all queued up and waiting for their turn to become my seed potatoes for the year. So this year I'm going to go with Yukon Gold. They were developed in the 1960s by a couple of potatoologists, and they come from an area of Ontario, Canada. And I don't want to mess up the university name, so I'm not even going to attempt to say it. But they were developed there. They're a cross between an American white potato and an African yellow potato. And they're quickly replacing popularity of white potatoes here in the United States. So as you can see, their eyes are very easy to find on these potatoes. Poor little guys look kind of traumatized, don't they? Awaiting their turn in queue. Now, actually, the eyes are a little bit difficult to see. They're pretty shallow on these potatoes, but you can find them. And I'm going to cut them up so that I have at least 3 eyes, 2 to 3 eyes per cut. And I don't have that many eyes on here, so each potato is not going to make that many seed potatoes for me. Then I'm going to let them dry out for a few, which is fine because I don't have that much space. And then I'm going to let them dry out for a few days, and then I'm going to plant them in recycled feed bags this year. So let's go check that out. And so these bags like this, these little woven bags, this is what I wanted to use to grow my potatoes in this year. I thought, wow, this would be great. I can roll it down, start shallow, plant my potatoes at the bottom, and then as the potato plant grows, I can continue putting soil on top of the plant, and then as I need to, roll the bag up. And it's easy to move around, no weeds, no digging. I thought it would be great. And then I wondered what that symbol was. I know it's a recycling symbol, so I looked it up. This bag has a number 5 on it. But read that. Appropriate recycling facilities may not exist in your area. Well, what good is it then? So I looked it up on all kinds of sites. It says, do not have this anywhere near your garden. Oh, so what do I do with these bags? So I had to do some searching, and I have to find an alternative. So let me show you what I came up with. Well, that's a fine lot of junk, isn't it? So I have this beautiful clear plastic tote up here at my moon shack that I'm storing stuff in. And this plastic tote would be great to bring down to my loft. And I still have the lid. So this is just sitting up here, basically holding the tin cans that I use in my candle making. So I thought, why don't I just move these tin cans into this bag and just write tin cans on it. These bags are good for shipping and storage and nothing else. I mean, you can't recycle them. You can. If you live in some city somewhere that has a massive recycling program, I suppose you could recycle them. Some people can turn them into shopping bags. I'm not quite that talented. But as far as growing food in, they're just absolutely useless. And so it's because you're going to get these BPAs that are known to cause cancer. And so they're really good for shipping containers because they're pretty much impervious to water. And also if there's horse feed or something that has molasses or something that has oil in it, like black oil sunflower seed, the oil doesn't drain through it. So they're great for shipping and storing, but they're terrible for everything else. And they're really bad on the environment. So these are going to become storage bags for things like my candle making stuff that just sits up here. And the bin is going to go get cleaned out and put into my loft for storing things that I want to be able to see. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do as far as potatoes. I was able to use those feed bags and move some stuff around in the moon shack and store stuff, because that's all those bags are really good for, is storage and shipping. So now those bags have a second life, and I've kept them out of the landfill. The cleared tote I was able to bring back down to my cabin and use to clean it up and use it the way that it should be used up in my loft. And that also, all that rearranging allowed me to find this little beauty. So I found a cardboard box. It is brown paper, so it's not going to be bleached. It doesn't have those nasty dioxins in it, so I don't have to worry about that. It doesn't have all those chemicals that those storage bags would have had in it. And people have relative success growing potatoes in cardboard boxes. So I use the flaps at the bottom, and they're weighted so that the cardboard doesn't blow away. I do have it sitting where it touches the ground. I'll cut the top off and fill it at least 15 inches with soil that I dig up from my forest. So I'll be right back. Smell. Earthiness. That's going to be amazing garden soil. Isn't that soil absolutely glorious? I love it. I get it right off the forest floor. And I filled my box to about here with the soil. And now I'm going to go in and get my little potato slips, set them into place, and gather some mulch. I'll be right back. All right, don't feel too bad. I was very merciful when I cut up my little spuds. So after a few days of drying out, they start to grow these little sprouts. As I'm sure you've seen, kitchen potatoes, from what I understand, are sprayed normally so that they don't make those sprouts. And that's the difference between your kitchen potatoes and your gardening potatoes, seed potatoes. However, I have had kitchen potatoes sprout before, so I don't know. I don't know about all that. And you put them cut side down, set them in the soil, push the soil around them so they don't go anywhere, and then all you need is about 6 inches of mulch on top. I'm just using straw. And as the potatoes grow through this, the little shoots come up through it, you just keep adding straw. You never want to see green tops on your potatoes as they're growing because they say that that's poisonous. So you want to keep them covered. And then when the vines die, you can harvest about, I think I'm supposed to get 1 pound per slip. So this box should hold 4 pounds of potatoes. The box may be too small. I don't know. This is a learning experience, a learning curve for me. So I'll give you an update later on this summer. All right, guys. Hope this video finds you all doing well, feeling healthy, and much love and light.